welcome to Faith in the Valley. For those of you who are new here, my name is Dee Kikwendu, and wherever you are in the world, I hope that you are well. So for those of you who don't know, I have been sharing my journey in terms of experiencing an unexpected back injury, which is a herniated disc in the L5-S1 part of my spine in my lower back. And so I've been sharing my emotions, my thoughts about my journey so far. But today, what I would like to do is to talk a little bit more about Cauda Equina Syndrome. So a message came through to me to say, I've been referring back to it, but I haven't actually shared any warning signs or any symptoms around that. And so I thought it would be quite helpful to share that with you all. And in some ways, even though prolonged sitting doesn't necessarily cause this Cauda Equina syndrome, prolonged sitting does and can push your herniated discs to then compress on your nerves. And it's the compression of your nerves in your lower back that can then trigger the symptoms around Cauda Equina syndrome. So I've been referring back to one of my earlier videos. I referred back to the importance of us talking about how we have changed the way that we work. So post-COVID, we work more from home, we work in the office as well, but not as much. But what we do continue to do is to sit down for long periods of time. And this is one of the reasons that can cause your disc to herniate, even without you really realizing. So I'm just going to share with you some warning signs around the Cauda Equina syndrome. So I'm going to read these out for you. So one of the first warning signs around this syndrome is the loss or the feeling of pins and needles between your inner thighs or your genitalia kind of area. I personally didn't experience this symptom, but I can imagine that depending on what nerves have been compressed, that this is probably very, very possible, just depending on where your herniated disc has actually compressed. The second warning sign is numbness in or around your back passage or your buttocks. So I personally experienced numbness around my buttocks. So particularly at the top of my buttocks on my left side. And then later on, I experienced the same kind of numbness on my right side as well. So that's something that I experienced. The next warning sign is an altered feeling when using the toilet and using paper to wipe yourself, or just having an increased difficulty in urinating. So I definitely experienced that as well, where I felt like I had no control at all, and I found it quite difficult to urinate. But then that progressed into having more symptoms later on. The next warning sign is an increase or a difficulty in passing urine full stop. So kind of similar to the previous kind of warning sign, but also as well, if you find that you start to leak without control, or you have to use some sort of pads or something to help you, that could also be a warning sign as well. The next is not knowing when your bladder is full or empty. So I definitely experienced something very, very similar to that. I wasn't sure at all, and I found it quite difficult in regards to urination overall. But then the next warning sign is an inability to stop a bowel movement or leaking. Now for me, this was like a major sign, especially at the beginning before I was admitted to A&E. I found that I had completely lost control of my bowels, which was a pretty scary experience, to be honest with you. I haven't experienced anything like that before, and at the time, obviously, I didn't know that the symptoms I was experiencing was down to the Cauda Equina Syndrome. I didn't even know at that point that my disc had herniated and that it was actually compressing on the nerves in my lower back. So I thought that would be quite helpful to share with you. I hope that answers some questions in regards to what it is, but please do your own research and find out for yourselves. But, just to really emphasize that if you do work from home or if you do work in the office and you're sitting down for a long period of time, just be mindful of making sure that you take regular breaks, that you get up so you have some movement in your lower back. And even though prolonged sitting isn't a direct cause to have the Cauda Equina Syndrome, what prolonged sitting does exacerbate, or what it does like stress, is the lower back. So when there's an application of stress on your lower back over a long period of time on a regular basis, this can impact on you having a herniated disc, as well as other factors as well, like bending down suddenly or lifting something too heavy or twisting awkwardly and that sort of thing. But I just thought it would be helpful to share. I hope it is helpful to share these symptoms. But also as well, if you are traveling through a situation similar to myself where you are recovering from an unexpected injury or illness or sickness, then just to say that you are not alone. And it is a really difficult and it can be quite a lonely experience to travel through something like this. But I hope that by knowing that you're not alone, that in itself is a form of encouragement to you. And I would really encourage you to remind yourself that there is hope, that there is a way forward. And also I'm proof that you can travel through something and you can, come across to the other side. Even though the process might be quite slow and quite challenging, it is possible to get through. So I hope this has been helpful over the past few minutes. If you have found this helpful or encouraging or informative, then please do like and subscribe to receive more content and more sharing from me. But also as well, if you are traveling through a particular situation or an injury or a sickness and you'd like me to share your story on your behalf, then please do send me a message. My details are in the description below. But until then, I hope that you take care and I hope that you can be as well as you can. So until the next time, thank you so much for joining me today and for watching. Take care. See you soon.